Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37, O'Connor and Company. Thanks for checking in with us as we get you going on this busy morning, coming off a very busy weekend. It may feel like summer out there, but we're right in the thick of it, and we're going to keep you informed and hopefully entertained while we do it. Coming up at 8:05, Ron Halber, CEO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington, on the terror attacks in Boulder, Colorado. And then at 8:35, Brendan Steinhauser, CEO of the Alliance for Secure AI. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Boy, we go from one of our favorites to the next favorite. Byron York joins us now, Washington Examiner. Real fast, here's Elon Musk on Friday as he ended his role as a special government employee as per schedule, heading up the DOGE effort, Cut 20.
I think the DOGE team is doing an incredible job. They're going to continue doing an incredible job, and I'll continue to be visiting here and be a friend and advisor to the president. And I look forward to times being back in this amazing room.
Chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner is Byron York. And Byron, Russ Vought, director of OMB, actually affirmed over the weekend that they're taking a lot of the recommendations from DOGE, putting it into the rescission package. And Speaker Johnson said that they're going to be taking other recommendations and putting it through the appropriations process. So all in all, as Elon Musk steps away, the DOGE effort continues, and it's actually more effective than the media portrays it to be. It appears to me, at least.
Well, certainly if it gets congressional validation in some areas and actually cuts ridiculous, stupid, wasteful spending that DOGE identified at the congressional level, that would be really, really good. I think as you look back at Musk's time in DOGE, I mean, there's really a couple of ways to think about it. I mean, one, it's really good to stop stupid, wasteful government spending. That is a good thing, and we should applaud people who try to do it. Yes. So, kudos to him for doing it. At the same time, I think Musk himself overpromised and underdelivered in terms of dollars. There was a time when he was talking about cutting $2 trillion out of the federal budget, and then he talked about $1 trillion. And if you look at the DOGE website, I didn't check it this morning, but I checked it a day or two ago. They said that they have accounted for $175 billion in savings. Now, that is we shouldn't be so Washington as to think that $175 billion is not a lot of money. It is, but it is a lot less than he promised.
Yeah. I think some people sort of feel bad for Elon. I mean, I certainly do. I feel bad for him because it's been interesting watching sort of the disillusionment, right? He started out so enthusiastic, jumping around. He was so excited. And you can tell now he's much more, I don't know, he just seems a little bit down about how things worked out. What are your thoughts on that? There's everything from, he's sporting a black eye to there have been fights with cabinet members. There's a lot of rumors out there. But what are your thoughts on sort of his position now and how he feels about D.C. and Trump?
Well, I think he blamed his 5-year-old son for the black eye, like not Scott Bessent or something like that. But you're right. There has been this process going on. And I think that some of well, let's start out this way. Democrats want President Trump to fail, and a lot of their allies in the media. So therefore, they want Elon Musk to fail. They wanted him to fail. And Washington is a really nasty place when there's a group that wants to destroy you, a powerful group like the media or an entire political party. So that was a big deal, and he found all of those the sort of press media guns, aimed at him. Now, at the same time, I think he did some things that made his job a lot harder, mostly in his statements on X, when he said, that time he said, we spent the weekend putting USAID into the wood chipper, feeding it into the wood chipper. We could have gone to some really great parties, but we did this instead. That just looked terrible. And I think the whole performance on stage at CPAC, where he's got the the chainsaw, and he's kind of prancing around with a chainsaw, was also a bad idea. That was good in the room for the
Right.
people at CPAC who supported that, but maybe there were cameras there, maybe not outside the room.
Byron, it's so funny. And I was guilty of it. At the time, I thought it was awesome and amazing. And in retrospect, it's like, yeah, that probably isn't the best image for for what's happening here. But meanwhile, David Brooks on PBS over the weekend, he's a New York Times columnist, supposedly a Republican, said that I'll quote him, Musk is semi-responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people because of cuts at USAID, which USAID looks nothing more like than a slush fund for Democrat priorities that, by the way, is still happening. It's just under the auspices of the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and some aid is still going on. But a whole lot of that stuff had nothing to do with starving children in Africa.
I just had an odd moment here. You guys went out for a few seconds, but I missed some of what David Brooks said.
It was David Brooks said that basically likening the cuts via USAID and other things, saying that Musk was semi-responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people.
Called him Pol Pot.
Yeah. Well, the important thing to remember about the USAID stuff, and this happened at the very beginning of the dawn of the DOGE era, is that they did move a lot of the popular programs, and I think most of us agree that in terms of foreign aid, it's a good thing to send wheat to starving places, to send medicine, to stop also tropical diseases and that kind of stuff. This is a good thing for the United States to do. It's relatively cheap in terms of the national budget, and so we do it. And it's also just bureaucratically, it's the right thing to do to put it in the State Department, where it has more scrutiny than in a so-called independent agency like USAID, where they could put that kind of aid alongside funding for an LGBTQIA comic book in Ecuador. Yeah. So I think just, in terms of government and administration, it made a lot of sense to do what DOGE did in this.
Yeah, I agree. And your headline of your newsletter this weekend was that America owes Elon Musk a debt of gratitude, I believe is how you put it. And I agree with you.
Can I clarify that a little bit? I mean, I want to say this: the story, to me, is that the incredible thing about Musk is what he has done in space. The United States accomplished one of the greatest accomplishments in human history, putting men on the moon 56 years ago. Is that right? I think. Yeah. And then we downgraded the space program to the space shuttle, which just represented lower ambitions in space. And then we just quit that altogether in 2011. And the United States had to depend on Russia to launch an American into space. We just abandoned space, and Elon Musk has almost single-handedly revived the ambition and the purpose of the U.S. space program. So I just think that he deserves incredible thanks for doing that. This is something where the United States was by far the leader in the world, a world historic leader in this, and had just had quit the field. And Musk brings us back in that. So this is not DOGE I'm talking about. This is what he has done in space, which has been incredible.
Yeah, and by the way, to that end, I just announced, I think in the month of May, they launched, basically every 2 days, there was a launch from SpaceX.
Yeah.
He's getting us to the point where we will have a launch every single day, which really does ramp us up to his dream of a Mars mission, and it'll all because of him. And you're right. Suddenly, America sort of is looking to the stars again and seeing that ambition that we used to have. And there is something about the American vision that needed some revival. Byron, thank you. Very thoughtful stuff, as always.
Thank you, Larry.